Alright guys, how you doing? I am in the process of learning a new game. It's called Box Seat Baseball. I'm playing the Under the Hood version, and I'm going to be using limited flip cards, which are like facts, just for base running and fielding. And right now I just have the PDFs because I wanted to get a head start at looking at some cards and looking at the charts and reading the manual and everything. So I'm just learning the game. I'm not ready to really play games yet. I ordered the print edition, which is probably going to come next week. So I'll have the actual print edition in my hands, and then I'll start playing some games, hopefully, once I get a little bit more comfortable. I've been watching some videos on YouTube as well from, I think it's Dave Jackson, and they're really good videos if you want to learn a little bit more about the game. But yeah, I'm enjoying learning about this game. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview, but again, I'm just learning it myself, so I am by no way an expert on this game yet. But you use 5 die. So you roll 5 die. You roll a white d6 and a black d6, and they're red replay style. You might use them for some other things as well, but mainly they're red replay style, so this would be a 51. You roll a green and a red d10, and again, they're red replay style, so this would be a 47, although again, they have some other uses as well. And the red die is actually a special red die because the 0 comes with an E next to it, just to remind you that anytime you roll a 0 on the red die, it's an error check. So you will be checking, depending on the play, a fielder for an error check. And then it also has what's called a pitcher's die. Now I don't have it yet. I'll have it next week. But it's similar in color to this, and it's basically a D10, but it has some special symbols on it. So it's not just normal numbers. It has like an A, a B. It has an R for range plays. It has like some minus numbers, like -2, -1. So yeah, you roll a pitcher's die as well. So you roll 5 dice, and they pretty much drive the game. And like I say, you can either play with all charts or you can play with limited flip cards. I'm going to do the limited flip cards version because I think it's just a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. And yeah, it plays pretty interesting. It's an interesting pitcher-batter interaction. So these are the 71 Orioles and the 71 Pirates. These are the demo teams that come with the PDF. I also got to order 2 teams of my choice with the print edition, and I got the 97 Yankees and the 97 Mariners. So those are the 2 teams I'm going to be playing a lot with to learn the game. I'm just going to give you a quick little overview of how it works. And again, I'm just learning it myself, so I'm going to pick some easy things to kind of just point out just to show you how the game works. So let's say we roll all 5 dice, and on the white and black we get a 2-1, 2 on the white, 1 on the black, red replay style, 21. Dave Cash, right-hand batter. He's facing Dave McNally, who's a left-hand pitcher. This is actually game 1 of the World Series. This was the matchup. And a 21 against all the cards are for split lefties versus righties on both pitchers and batters. So you start with a batter in box seat baseball, just kind of the opposite of like inside pitch. And you go to 21 against a lefty, and it says BB2. So that's just a possible walk. It's not a definite walk yet, kind of like inside pitch where you got to do a check. So if it says just BB, it's a walk. There's one exception to that, but I won't go into it right now. But if it's just BB, it's most of the time it's just a walk. But if it has a what they call a suffix next to it, or the number in parentheses, 21, and it says BB2. So what you do there is that's when the pitcher comes into play and the pitcher interaction comes into play, because pitchers are divided up. They have hit ratings, walk ratings, K ratings. So in this case, because it's a BB or a walk, you go to the BB rating, and it had a 2 in parentheses, so you go down to the 2, and Cash is a right-handed hitter. His lefty-righty splits, and it says SG2, slow grounder or a soft grounder. I think they call it a slow grounder. Same thing, same idea. Kind of like Dynasty League Baseball, where they have the hard grounder, the regular grounder, and then the soft grounder. And so in this case, McNally doesn't walk him. He turns it into a ground ball out. So pitchers can stop walks, they can stop hits. Also, sometimes, though, they will not get the strikeout. They might turn it into an out instead because they might be a type of pitcher that pitches to contact and doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. So here on a BB2, this would be a grounder instead of a walk. If it was a BB -2, though, they're blank. So those would still be walks. He doesn't stop the walk with a BB -2. So that's kind of how walks work. Strikeouts work the same way. If you look right under here, you look at 23. If you roll the 23 against the lefty, it's a K -1. So now it's a possible strikeout. Again, it's not a definite strikeout. If it just says K, it's a definite strikeout. But if it says K -1, you again go to the pitcher card, you go to his K ratings, -1 for a right-handed hitter, and here he would actually not get the strikeout. He would get he would turn it into a regular ground out instead. He didn't. Looks like he didn't strike out as many right-hand hitters. He actually looks like he struck out more left-hand hitters, where the Ks would stay a K on -3, -2, and -1. Where with right-handed batters, a K would only stay a K against a -3. So that's kind of interesting. But so he must have been pitching to contact against righties there. And so that's kind of how the Ks work. I'm going to show you also a little bit how the hits work. Again, I'm just learning the game myself, but I'll show you what is hopefully a simple play for me to explain. Let's say we roll a 51 on Cash's card against the lefty. Says SN2. Now forget about the 2 right now. That just has to do with the type of ground ball on the flip cards, but we don't have to, or on the charts, but we don't have to worry about that right now. But an SN is a single, but it's not an automatic single. This is just a possible single, and that's where the green and red dice come in, and it also where these hit numbers or hit ratings come into play, and they're also divided into lefty against lefties and against righties. So again, remember, McNally's a lefty, so we're going to use this hit UTH under the hood hit number of 70. And what that means is if the green and red dice, when we roll them, are over 70 or over, so let's say they're 94, then that would be an automatic hit. This single would be a hit because it's 70 or better. That's what this number tells you. And there are different versions of this. There's also some numbers where there might be in parentheses, which has to do with in scoring position. But in this case, Dave Cash just has one number, so it makes it easy. And this is the number you use to check the hit. So any number 70 or better, like 74 would be a hit. This single is an automatic hit. He just did a good job of putting the ball in play and getting a base hit. But if you roll these 2 dice and it's not over 70, let's say it's a 64, now it's not over 70, it's not an automatic hit, that's where the pitcher's die would come in. And again, I don't have the actual pitcher's die, this is just the D10. The actual pitcher's die has some different symbols on it. But what you would do is you would look at the pitcher's die for that single, and you would go to the pitcher, and he has the hit rating section. And again, whatever the pitcher's die said, so let's say the pitcher's die said -2. So then you would look for a right-hand batter, it's blank. He doesn't stop the hit. It would still be a single because there's nothing there. But if the pitcher's die was a 0 for a right-hand hitter, he would actually change that single into a pop-up. So he could take some hits away on all these numbers, -1 down to 3. He would take hits away. Only where there's nothing there, he wouldn't take the hit away. So that's kind of how the pitcher-batter interaction works. It's actually pretty cool, pretty interesting. And that's how kind of the whole game is driven by these red plays as possible hits. Blue plays are usually either outs or there's some walk chances and things like that. So, and that kind of drives the play on what you're going to do on each roll of the white and black dice. And yeah, that's kind of just a general overview of how the game plays. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. And I'm looking forward to learning more about how to play. Like I say, next week I get the print edition, and I should be ready to hopefully roll a game or two and see how much trouble I get into. But yeah, that's just a little introduction into box seat baseball. I am a beginner at it, so I'm still learning, and anyone who's really good at it and knows, hopefully you guys can help me out. So that's it. Thanks for watching.